You want a show? Yo, we got the show. We got the actual show. Yeah. Hello everyone, welcome to Sagotin Studios' new show. I'm Chaz Roberts, and I'm going to be presenting this series, which is The Actual Show. It's my new show, which I'm going to base on reactions and all that. I did promise this kind of thing earlier on in the year, so I may as well get started. I'm pretty revved up for this one today. We've got a couple of subjects we're going to hit off, and maybe if I've got enough time to think of a new one, I'll probably bring up something along wrestling and all that. But yeah, the ones that we're definitely going to cover are Hunrgy Britain. Just watched something on the BBC and I wanted to just get my reaction to that. And secondly, we're going to have something of an advert that really needs some addressing to, and yeah, I was kind of... I'll let you hear it when we get to that segment anyway. So let's get on with the show, shall we? So let's start off with Hunrgy Britain then. As I said, BBC have done a programme today, and it was based on things like how Britain is starting to be hungry, and that how things like money's not coming in, and how people survive on things like benefits, things like food banks and all of that. Right. First off, the food banks themselves. I think it's not a bad idea to have them all, but after watching the what's being put onto the shelves, and this is something really funny here. You would have expected charity case things with churches and all that to have your basic needs and all that. Basic needs is what I would call something that helps fill you, a filling, which I would count for as potatoes, breads, rice, something to literally fill your hunger. And these aren't extravagant things and all that. You can buy them in bulk, and that should last you for a long time. Now, the next part of it is things like produces and all that. Things like your meat, your 5-a-day veg and that, beans, just things that can be canned up and eat to have more nutrition in your diet. And obviously, the last one will be things like drinks, water, fruit juices maybe and that. Now, the thing that I saw in these food banks, one person was coming out with high-end supermarket stuff and all that. Things that you would probably could get on basics or shopping malls standard kind of thing, labels. And not the high-end stuff, say like, I don't know, things like that. Things that the superstore actually sell on the cheap. Kidney beans and things like that. I'm seeing things that are big name stores from big branded companies and all of that being put into these store banks and all, with these food banks, and they're giving them away. Okay. For example, you could probably get some, we'll go for a little bit of a treat, cookies and things like that. 40 pence in a superstore on their basic lines and that. You could find in these booths, these food banks and all of that, being carried away in booths, shopping bags and all that. And they probably cost like £1 or more for a packet and all of that. And the very example that I actually saw there was Kellogg's Fitties. Now I know they go for about like £2 or more, probably around the £3 mark, just for like one of the basic size things from the Kellogg's. You can probably get a big pack of cornflakes, not branded stuff and all that, for about £1, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less. But it's just those kind of things where you're giving them these prestige kind of big name stuff, and they're literally, well, I wouldn't say literally giving them away, because you have to go through a process of naming why you're gonna. They're legislated in a way, but to give these people the choice of extravagant, I dare say extravagant, but they're not really. You work for the money, you buy these things as either a treat or a way of bettering your lifestyle and all of that, which I think if you're not working for the jobs and all that, I know this sounds harsh, at the moment I don't actually care what I'm saying at the moment. It's basically the fact that if you got a job, you can spend your money on what is it? And this is coming from a guy who I'm not exactly a fond friend of the whole capitalism idea of the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, and your work is as worth as the money that you get kind of idea. So it infuriates me that you get people who probably just sign a sheet and all that, and go to the banks and all that, and they're getting things that I wish I could afford, I wish I could get, and I would have to sacrifice quite a bit just to get those items. And these people are able to walk in after signing some legislation notes and all that, and just get them. Just at the local church or food bank. Yeah. But I'm not saying that every person who goes to these food banks are bad. I think one thing, they need to figure out what they're buying and what they can get for these people. That isn't seeming like that they're trying to get the best for simply nothing, whilst the people who are working, like myself and that, happen to provide them with the taxes that we are obviously giving them. So yeah, that's the food banks sorted. Now when it comes to other things, like the people who... I saw a person on there who literally lives on £55 for a fortnight. That's horrendous! Horrendous, that is. If it was, like, not even a century, I would say. If it was 1930s, a thing like that, it wouldn't be so bad. A pound would be a lot more than it is today. But £55 in this day and age is absolutely ridiculous for it. And this guy is feeding himself on a can of red kidney beans. And then he has to go to the food bank and get some more. But the problem with that person is that I can say this. The only thing that I've touched is a little bit of drink, and at best I drink 1 bottle of cider or a couple of cans of beer a week. At the most, most on an every week basis and that. Special occasions differ. But this guy, he's had a past of drug abuse and all that. And in the eyes of all the legislation or the politicians or the good guys that is supposed to promise you everything and all that, and police and government and all that. If you touch the stuff like drugs and all that, you are going to be looked down upon and all that. And I'm sorry to say, if you're going to take drugs and that, hell, if you've tried things like smoke and all that, that's a choice. You chose to take that up. And now you have to live with the consequences of those actions. Things like your addiction, which you can attempt to cut and that. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying that I could do it if I was addicted. But I'm not addicted. I made a choice not to go there. Same with the drugs. And this guy has put himself in the hole that he cannot get himself out of, and he's living on £55 a week. And we're supposed to feel sorry for that. No, it doesn't cut bread with me and all that, I'm afraid. I actually feel sorry for the guy in a way that he should be given, like, a second chance, maybe, and all that, because he is pretty much cleaned out, and he's looking for the work and that. But it's going to be a lot harder for him, and he probably knows it, but the program in itself and all that is saying that we should feel sorry for this guy because he has gone that route, bettered himself, and now he needs a job. Okay, yes, he needs a job. But he has to work for it. And he's going to have to work for it a lot harder than a lot of us who probably never touched the stuff. And yeah, that may be extreme, but like I said, you deal with the choices that you make in life. What else did I see? Oh, here's a fun one. Going up from the completely horrible and I would say oppressing ideas and all that, but we also have a politician from the Conservative Party going into one of the food banks, and basically she's looked in there and she wasn't impressed at the fact that she basically said that we don't need these. People used to put food on the table first and then everything else second. And yeah, I kind of agree with that. I personally put food first, and then all the little bills know that I have to incorporate into one go, and then I have to think about say like the internet, or the special little things that I want. And like I was saying before, the things that I get with my own good hard work and money and that. But at the same time, she's basically saying that the people who don't have a job but are looking and at least trying to do something about their situation, they don't deserve it. They don't deserve the food banks and all that, or the necessities that humans need, or any animal needs, and that. I don't know. The other side of the argument was the fact that these people deserved it and these people need it. But in defense of the Conservative person, it does seem like these people, well, I say these people. I don't mean everyone. Of course I don't mean everyone. I mean, there could be some people that abuse the system and are getting away with free food and all that, or they legitimately had the case on them, but now they've pretty much given up and said, I can get a better deal with this by getting the food here and all of that, and then just kick back, relax. That is that's her side of the argument, and I've got to agree, it is probably something that some people will do. But we need the food banks at this moment because, quite frankly, prices are going higher for food and all that. And, the money is not coming in as quick as it's going out, pretty much. I mean, in my current state, I'm managing to pick up from my losses and all that, and maybe just spend that little bit, that tiny bit, for myself and all that. But other times, I may have to dig deep into the funds and all that, and not get anything at all. I may actually get less than I had, or what I would usually get the week before and that. So it's a balancing act. I'm part of it. Everyone else needs to be part of it. But unfortunately, the state of our employment status and all that, we need to give some people some help and identify what it is that we need to give them help with. Priority being the food and basic stuff that they can get. If we give them hand-me-outs all the time and all that, they're going to just ride the system and not give a damn about going out and getting a job or working hard to earn a living. And in a way, that puts them in the trap that they will never ever wish for anything better than what they're getting for free. Being able to go abroad, for instance, or starting up their own company, things like that. They will be trapped in this hole and all that, of which is accepting mediocrity. Really? Is that a way to live? Is that a way to live? Well, I wouldn't accept it. I really would not accept that kind of lifestyle. But I guess it's not an easy subject to sort out like that. And, well, it's going to be something that's long trying to fix in order. I don't know what's going to happen next election, but I don't think many people are going to go the same way as before. Okay, time to move on to the second subject of the actual show. And that's basically of the advert that I was forewarning you. I mean, imagine just sitting back in an afternoon and you're just at the end of the current show segment, watching this, and suddenly what was that? What was that? No. Was that chicken? Was that chicken doing thrusts towards us? Are you serious? Are you actually serious? Is that... The first thing that comes to your mind is the dirty thought of a chicken, well, quite frankly, getting some cock. What else are we supposed to do when a chicken... Yeah. This is how we do it. Southern style. Yeah, I don't... That was my obvious first impression and all that, and that just probably describes my character. But, Why? Why? And the second point of this is, it's a Mercedes-Benz advert. A Mercedes-Benz advert with random chickens thrusting. And, well, let me just think about this for a second. Sorry, I just had to swear at my brother for a couple of minutes. What you heard in the background there was the exact advert I was talking about that I was trying to show you. Okay, granted, you have actors with the whole black suit thing against a black background kind of idea, and you've got the white gloves there provoking the actions and that. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. It's the fact that it just looked the worst thing you could possibly have to start off with on the advert is a chicken look like it's getting some giggly time. Why? And why would you have that for a car advert? Oh, it's super stable. It doesn't matter how much we jiggle you around or if we're getting it on in the back of the car and all that. As long as it's safe and sturdy. Okay. There must be other ways, better ways to, I don't know, implicate something that shows stability and all that. I don't know, maybe having a goldfish just going like there, going bloop, bloop, bloop. I'm in the water, I'm in the most fluid place and most insecure part of the entire room at the moment, but you know what, I can do better than the Mercedes-Benz cars and all that. Why a chicken that's dancing? I know, this seems absolutely ridiculous reaction to have for an advert, but I'm getting the idea that the artistic director of Mercedes-Benz must be wanting to put a gun to his head and blow his brains out, wondering why the hell we have done this. Because if not him, I certainly feel like I should have done that a long time ago. I don't understand. I understand what the message is. I don't understand why. Okay, I think I've got a subject to try and fill in the whatever's left of the video. I'm going to talk about what I think about the Wyatt family in WWE. Basically, I'm a big fan, a huge fan of the Wyatt family. I mean, the members, Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, and Luke Harper. They started off, well, one of them started off as part of something else, but we won't go into that for those who basically live the WWE and wrestling and that. But yes, Bray Wyatt comes in and starts this whole new thing in NXT. And it's, when I first heard his music and saw the guy and all that, I didn't recognize him. I absolutely thought, oh my god, what is all this about? We got some guy with a freaking rocking chair, and he comes out to this really, mellow tune and all that. And I didn't actually give him the chance that he rightly deserved. But after watching a few shows of NXT and all that, it grew, and oh my god. I waited, and it just hit me how good that this whole storyline, this new persona, has given us and that. And his lackeys in the background, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, they are scary. Absolutely scary. Just their presence alone is enough to give him some sort of immediate threat and, I don't know, superstar potential on that. But when you see them in the ring and all that, well, let's talk about the in-ring action for all three. We'll start off with Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt, for a big guy. I'm not talking about 7 foot tall monster. He is still a big guy. But for basically his weight category and all that, he is so freaking agile, and he knows exactly how to move his body in terms of offensive maneuvers. That high, crossbody elbow kind of attack of his, it is scaringly realistic in my eyes. You can probably feel it halfway across the room. And this is about thousands of miles away from me in England. Luke Harper, he does moves that I would say project him quite well, but the Michinoku driver, I have never ever seen a Michinoku driver so well presented as he has since Taka. Everything else, so-called French bomb from La Resistance, wasn't nearly as good as what Luke Harper can do. And that discus clothesline's probably, we'll save that for another one. We'll come back to that subject, but his clothesline really matches his character, and yeah. And then the whole Eric Rowan, if you've not known where the idea for that comes from, watch a few Rob Zombie movies and you'll find out. But that whole scary mask thing comes off, and he gets into some enraged persona. It's quite classical, and the whole jumpsuit thing and all that, it really, if I say it was a carbon copy of who it's meant to be, plus the beard and all that, I would say he's done a pretty good job of what he did. Except for he's not holding weird weapons and that. But yeah. The only thing about Rowan is, I think the only major moves he has are splashes, the jumping splash. It's mainly Luke Harper that has most of the gimmicks on that part of the tag team. But the main proprietor, we'll go to the next part now. The role playing or the mic ability. Bray Wyatt knows how to make a certain subject go on and still make it seem quite fresh. Ever since the start, he's always been this villain character that's been out in the neck of the woods and all that, and out of tune with the more popular kind of lifestyles and all that. So getting up at 9 to 5, working and all that, that's got nothing to do with him. He goes out and helps his family crocodile wrestling and skinning and living the hard life in a world of their own design. And he has done things like beat up heroes because they're not who you think they are. Everything in society is a lie, and all your things that you used to believe in, they're all little fantasy dream worlds and all that. And yeah, it may be the same subject pretty much each week, but he plays it so well, and he plays it, and the way he talks is quite creepy. The way he does insane things like backwards crab crawling like a spider. Even a simple thing as kissing someone on their head whilst they're half unconscious and then making sure they're down for a count. A very bizarre character. And to have two big guys joining him for muscle and all that, I could pretty much, hand on heart and that, say that if nothing else, this to me feels like the new Ministry. You have a cult that is completely and utterly of its own mindset in that. You could say almost fantasy-like, but you can also see with the whole family idea, it could quite well be real. But yeah, that kind of whole background story, brilliant. I didn't give it the chance at the start, but I'm glad that I got to know Bray Wyatt and the rest of the family as they brought up. I could say there are other big factions and all that, but in terms of major ones and all that, I would say ever since Evolution, there hasn't really been a decent array of proper factions and all that. And I'm just glad that we've actually got one right here. In fact, we got others, but we'll get onto that on a different time. But yeah, follow the buzzards, my friend. Follow the buzzards. And that brings us to the end of the actual show. Thank you for watching the show, and if you think I'm doing a good enough job, I'm always happy, because this is a response show. I think it's only fair that we give the chance for the viewers to react upon what I've said in that. So, please, if you really feel like you need to, don't hesitate to tell me what you feel like. If you really think I'm doing a good job, like or subscribe on the YouTube channel and that. I'm always happy to hear what everyone else thinks about what I say or what I do and all that, or about the subject themselves. But yeah, I'm going to be doing this show on not a regular basis, so not weekly or bi-weekly or whatever. I just plan on doing it when the reaction feels like it needs to come out. I'll try and do it quite often, but needs are needs. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope I'll see you again next time. Ciao for now.
Due to my own popular demand, I've decided to change the show's name to The Actual Fact. Thank you for watching, and have a good night.